Hey you guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you for tuning in. My name is Courtney. Today I have got two Shabby Chic Valentine garlands for you. So here is the timestamp to get straight to the supplies and the tutorial for both of these projects. If you are new, I do chit chats every now and then in my videos, and it's usually after I give you the timestamp for my supplies and tutorial. And the chit chats are basically just, it might be showing you how I'm using projects in my house, or if I've made a project on YouTube and put out a video and then I made some changes, I'll show you that. A lot of it is little mini projects that I do and post on Facebook and Instagram that I won't do a full tutorial for, but I do want to talk you through it if people ask. And so most recently, like that birthday sign, I did a chit chat where I just talked you through how I made that birthday sign that I posted on Instagram. And coming soon, actually next week, January 23rd starts my major craft room renovation. So there'll be a lot of kind of behind the scenes of what's going on with that. So that's just kind of what my chit chats are. But like I said, I give you the timestamp so that if you just want to get straight into the craft and not listen to the talking, that's totally fine. It will not hurt my feelings. That's why I do the timestamp. All right, with that being said, I did want to quickly say in some upcoming chit chats, I've had several people ask me about looking at seeing my farm table decorated for Valentine's Day. So as soon as I finish that arrangement that I posted up on Instagram that I made last year, but I didn't finish it last year, as soon as I finish that, I'll show you what my table looks like. And then second, I've had several people ask me about the drop cloth valance in my kitchen and how I did that. It was you could see it in my Christmas tour, the 2018 Christmas tour. You guys, that project's so easy. You guys are not gonna believe. I mean, $8 or less, super easy to do. So I will be putting that in an upcoming chit chat. And lastly, quick little, I guess, business type talk. I did want to say, first of all, thank you to all of you. You guys, your comments, y'all are so sweet, and you have no idea what it means to me. It makes me want to keep just putting stuff out for you guys because you're so encouraging, so sweet. And most importantly, I really, really appreciate constructive criticism and tips. Like most recently, the project I did with the left potion where I was scraping the bottle and the sound was like super terrible. So many of you said, hey, try this and try that. And that kind of stuff is always welcome on my channel. I feel like, especially when I, as a subscriber, when I watch other YouTube channels, especially DIY channels, I'll read the comments and you can learn so much from subscribers. They'll give tips and things. Because a lot of times when you're filming stuff, you don't think of everything you're trying to say, or when you're doing voiceover, you don't think of it, and then it's way after the fact, and you can't really go back. So that's where subscribers really come in helpful because they can comment all that stuff that you may have forgotten to mention or just didn't think of. Now, with that being said, I did want to go ahead and say it because my subscriber count is going up, which I'm just floored by. And there are haters. I get it. I mean, when you put yourself out there, there's haters, and that's just part of life. But I did want to say that on my channel, I just don't have time for mean comments. If you have something mean to say about one of my projects or something like that, I would just appreciate it if you either move on and just not say anything at all, because I will delete and block, and that's the end of it. Like, move on. It's like I always tell my kids, you can, from a little age, I was like, you can choose your attitude based on Winnie the Pooh characters. If you think about their personalities, if you want to be excited and deliver a message, channel your inner Tigger. If you want to be wise and you really have a lot to say and you've learned a lot from something, be an owl. If you're a beginner, channel Roo. Like, if you're a loving, comforting person, be Kanga, be Pooh, be Piglet. Just don't be Eeyore. That's all I'm saying. Eeyore is not welcome on my channel. So I hate to put that out there. I mean, it's so annoying to have to do it, but I just wanted to let you know where I stand on that if you put a mean comment, it's like a one shot for me. I just can't. It's like, move on. Just don't say anything. If you don't like it, just don't say anything. That's all I'm saying. All right. Okay, so without further ado, guys, enough of that. Again, just thank you so much for all the support. You guys are awesome. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And yeah, so let's get into this project. All right, let's start with the first garland, which is the yarn and wooden heart garland. You're going to need some type of fabric. You will need some burlap ribbon. This is the 6-inch ribbon from Hobby Lobby. You'll need some yarn, any color type that you would like, some lace and or ribbon. You will need some wooden hearts. These came from a pack in the Valentine craft section at Hobby Lobby. You will need some of these sticky hearts, also from the Valentine craft section at Hobby Lobby, or cardboard. You will need some Dollar Tree nautical rope, and you will also need your glue gun. So the first step in this project will be to take 3 of these sticky hearts. I'm just gonna peel off the back of the sticky paper, and then I'm gonna start wrapping these hearts kind of like I did for that love sign that I made a couple videos ago. And the great thing about this sticky is you won't need to anchor it with any type of hot glue. You simply will just continue to wrap around the heart until you get it however thick and to the pattern that you like. If you cannot find these sticky hearts or don't have them, this is where you can use some cardboard and just make basically heart templates. The only thing you'll need to do a little differently is every now and then you will want to anchor your yarn on the back of the heart as you're wrapping so that it's secure. Okay, all my hearts are wrapped, and to finish them off, all I do is I simply just put a little string of hot glue on the back and then smush the yarn down, and it works out great. Now I'm ready to move on to my wooden hearts. I will be using 4 of these wooden hearts from that little package of hearts that I got. And what I'm going to use is some of this cream wax that I picked up at Hobby Lobby in brown. I'm just going to paint it with 1 coat using a foam brush on the front, the sides, and the back. Note to self, don't put down the heart until the glue's completely dried. My hearts are just about all finished now. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up and then let these dry. And then my next step will be to start cutting my fabric strips for the garland. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It's red with some little hearts on it. I purchased it at Hobby Lobby. It was 30% off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half to make the cutting easier. And the length of these strips are going to be 6 inches. And the width is going to be 1 inch. Now, I stink at using a rotary cutter, but it is what it is at this point. Like, I just don't know. It's one of those things that I really just, I think I have a phobia because I cut my finger open, and anything with blades, yeah, like that. I can't even, and that thing was sharp, I'm telling you, it's not even dull. So let's just move on. Okay, so again, 6 inch in length for these strips, 1 inch wide, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it. Now, I purchased half of a yard, which was way more than I needed, so you could probably get away with just 1/4 of a yard, but again, it all depends on how long you want your garland to be. All right. Oh my gosh, I totally just, oh my gosh, I'm cutting my ruler. Oh, I chipped off a piece of, oh no, I killed my ruler. Oh, poor little ruler. Okay, well, I guess I won't be using you to make straight lines. Well, I guess I could use the other end, but oh my gosh, Courtney. Okay, well, seriously, this is why I should have borrowed Bailey's plastic ruler. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I almost cut my finger off. This is not, oh my gosh, what is my problem? Okay, I need to be banned from life from rotary cutters. This is just... Now that I've cut my 6 inch width strips, I got smart and I'm now using a metal ruler. Still really just, yeah, this rotary cutter, I'm telling you. But now I'm just gonna go through and make the 1 inch width for these strips. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut my burlap. So since this is already 6 inch width burlap, all I have to do is cut it into 1 inch strips. And I do like using this because the edges are finished. And basically I'm just kind of cutting 2 sections and then I'll go through and double them up to cut. You are still gonna have some fraying, but for me, this at least gives me kind of a minimal amount and it's not fraying all the way around. Now that my fabric and burlap is all cut, I'm going to just kind of lay out my pattern here to kind of see how much fabric I'm gonna need between each heart. Now, if you want more of a farmhousey vibe, you certainly could leave it like this and not add fabric. But if you wanna go a little more shabby chic, then I would recommend adding the fabric. Now I'm ready to start working on the garland. So what I did is I basically took the rope and kind of folded it in half. and then found the midpoint and went ahead and attached this heart by using some twine. And first I kind of tied it to the back, and you can see me trimming off the extra here. And then I went ahead and hot glued it all the way across to get it nice and attached to my heart. Once the heart was attached, I just took my ruler and kind of put the end on it and folded it over. And then I basically took a piece of twine and tied it right there, and that let me know where the end of my banner was going to be. And then I'm basically just going through and marking with some little pieces of twine where my hearts are going to go so that I can make sure they're evenly spaced. Now that it's all marked up with twine, I kind of just placed the wooden heart to give me an idea of where and how much fabric I'm going to need to tie. So now I'm going to start tying my fabric on, and I'm going to start with the red fabric and then do a piece of burlap. Now you can kind of see this is shredding as you fold it. Some of them did that, others were totally fine and only shred a little bit, but I'm okay with that because again, I'm going for more of a shabby chic look here. So after I do the red thread and then I do the burlap, I'm just going to continue doing this pattern till I get to the point where the wooden heart is going to go. All right, so now I have got my little pattern, red burlap, red burlap, red burlap. And then I have red, and I decided after, I guess, 3 sets of 2, I wanted to add a white element to just kind of help tie into the yarn hearts. So I'm just leaving this lace the same width as it is, and I'm just cutting it to 6 inches. And then I'm just going to tie a piece of the lace on, and then I'm going to do another set of 6, and then it'll be the wooden heart. All right, so basically what I did is after I did that first set of 6, I did lace 6, then I did lace. I put the wooden heart down and then tied a piece of lace and went ahead and did the next section. And now I'm going back and I'm just attaching my wooden heart with some hot glue, just putting some pressure on it. And then that's all I did to it. You could, if you wanted to, secure it a little better on the back, but I felt like this was a pretty strong hold, so I'm just going to leave it like this. All right, my garland's all done. This is how I ended it on the ends. I made this little knot thing. I will show you on the next garland how I did this, but I think it turned out great. I just did that knot to make it easy to hang on a 3M hook, which is great about the nautical rope because it kind of just slips into those very tiny little plastic hooks. And this is how it turned out. So I have it hanging on my mantle, and I'm just kind of going, I'm gonna go back in and just kind of fluff the pieces of fabric and kind of pull them apart until I get it how I want it looked and trim all the little extra strings off. But there you go, guys. This is my little shabby chic Valentine garland. All right, and now I'm ready to do the fabric bunting and wooden heart garland. So for this garland, you will need some fabric. I use 3 different types. You will need some lace and or ribbon. You will need some more of the wooden hearts. We will need nautical rope from Dollar Tree. You will need some yarn, and you will need your handy dandy glue gun. Okay, so for this garland, I basically just wanted to go ahead and start kind of planning out my pattern. Now, it looks on camera like this is kind of black and white, but my fabric's actually gray and white. And so what I did is I cut these strips the exact same way I did for the first garland. These are 15.5 inches long, however, and 1 inch wide. So all I'm doing to make this garland is I'm basically taking the fabric, folding it over in half, and then I'm taking it and sticking it underneath the piece of rope. And then once it is underneath the piece of rope, I am kind of turning it to the little loop to the right, just like that, to make a hole. And then I just pull the 2 pieces through and tighten it to the way I want it. And I'm just going to continue doing this. My pattern is the gray check, a piece of white, a piece of pink lace, and then a piece of white lace. And I'm going to go ahead and go through and continue doing this until I get the length that I want. I'm going to go ahead and paint my wooden hearts. I've got 6 wooden hearts here. These are the smaller hearts from that wooden pack that I used for the first garland, and these are the 2 colors that I am using. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and paint these with 1 coat all the way around, and then the side that's going to face out on the garland, I will go back and give it a 2nd coat. So 3 of these hearts will be 1 color, and then the other 3 will be the other color. Now, after staring at this bunting for a little bit, I decided I wanted one more little element in my garland, and what I decided is I had this really cute ombre ribbon, and I'm kind of just tying these in. It's a little stringy, and it's got the colors of the hearts in it, and it just gives it a whole nother element. So this is kind of optional. You don't need to go back in and add yarn if you don't want to, but you could add fuzzy yarn if you want, or what have you. But I'm just going in and strategically placing these back in my bunting, and then as soon as this is done, I will get ready to attach the hearts. My garland is now the length that I want, so now I'm trying to figure out the placement of the hearts, and then I saw that I had a couple of the big hearts left over, and I thought that would actually be a really cute element to paint those and then add it. And then I realized I only have 2 large hearts and not enough to put behind these small ones. So there you go, another option if you want. But now basically I'm going to go through and attach all of these hearts. I figured out where they needed to be placed on my garland, and it's basically, I kind of spaced it by bunches of the white, pink, white, that little grouping. So my hearts are kind of sitting on 2 gray pieces, and then I've got 2 bunches of, or patterns of the white, pink, white. I hope I'm making sense here. And then another heart that's sitting on the gray, and then 2 bunches of the white, pink, white pattern, and then another heart. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, please ask me below, and I'll try to explain it a little better for you. My hearts are all now attached, so now I'm going to close off my ends, and I'm just measuring 12 inches, and then I'm cutting the rope, which I actually could have made it a little bit smaller, but I wasn't quite sure how many loop arounds I wanted to do. So basically all I do is I made a little loop here, and I attached it with some hot glue, and then basically you just kind of wrap the extra around however many times you want. So now I'm just kind of playing with it, trying to figure out how many loops of rope I want, and then I'll just secure it all with some hot glue. Alright, here is my finished garland. I went ahead and decided to hang it up on my china cabinet, and like I said, those 3M, the tiny little plastic hooks, hold this garland up really well. The rope just sits in there kind of securely, and it works really great. And so this is where I have chosen to hang it. And here's a picture of my china cabinet. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. And until next time, see you later.